When I lived and worked in New York City, I had a pretty good setup. I lived on the Upper East Side, and I worked in Little Italy. That's where this comes from. It was a tremendous place to work and a tremendous life that I was living back then, and I unfortunately worked in a building which was a huge New York City dump. It should have been condemned, but of course it was a state-operated building, so we're on the cheap bid. It's the way it goes. The reason why I bring that up is because it was an eerie building. One night I was working late, and the building was emptied out. Everybody had left, and I wanted to finish a segment of my project before I left, because if I leave it open, I'm going to have a bad night. I'm going to be thinking about it all night. So I tried really hard to just put my nose to the grindstone and work through it. Finally, I was getting really hungry, and I decided I got to get out of here. So I wrapped it up, and I had a guide dog at the time, Andy, and he was a tremendous yellow Labrador retriever. I said, let's go, Andy, and he was happier than me, because he knew that meant. So he gets to go to the bathroom, and he gets to eat. So we go down the elevator, and all I could think about is, what do I want to eat? I was so hungry, ravenous hungry. And I wanted my grandmother's sauce, meatballs and sausage, and I had a big container of it in my house. So I said, wow, I know what I'm gonna have for dinner, I'm so psyched. And you know when you get that taste in your mouth and you just know you want that meal? I was completely psyched. So when we come out of the building, we normally make a right and we go to the subway. And Andy, as usual, takes his right turn nice and confidently, and I said, ho, ho, we're not going right. He looks up at me like, what are you talking about? And I said, we're gonna go left, go left. And he goes left reluctantly because he doesn't understand. And I said, we're going to Parisi's. And he got pep in his step, and we started walking. We crossed over Mulberry Street, and we kept going to Mott Street. We crossed over Mott Street, we took a left, and now he's really in stride because he knows where we're going. There's two places on Mott Street that we used to go. The first one was Parisi's, Italian bakery and deli. The next one was a Chinese restaurant called 202 Mott. The address, they were ahead of its time. A lot of people do that now. And they said, we know we have a name like this because we have everybody know where we are. And I used to love that lady who was there. She was amazing. And I used to get lunch for $4, and it had 3 total meals in it. I was amazed at what deals I got back those days. But Andy knew we were going to Parisi's, and he pulled right into Parisi's, put his nose right by the handle. I reached up, opened the handle, locked. I'm like, oh, I needed a loaf of bread. The best bread in New York City, the best bread. I really wanted a loaf of bread with this meal. So, my appetite was not going away, but now what am I gonna do? I can't eat that. My grandmother's sauce, meatballs, and sausage with no bread. What kind of Italian am I? I'm a Jewish Italian, by the way, so I had to figure it out. So we turned around, and we went back toward the subway, and I have to make a plan B. What the heck is plan B gonna be? Because now I don't want that meal without the bread. Yes, there are other bread stores, but not in my line of where I was going. So I just said, oh man, I gotta figure out something else. And as we're walking down the sidewalk, my dog stops in his tracks. And I'm like, Andy, come on, let's go. We're in the middle of the sidewalk. Come on. And I, you know, the harness is on a guide dog, right? I flipped the harness up a little bit, which kind of gets the dog encouraged to go forward. And I couldn't get him to move. And I'm like, come on, buddy, let's go. And I'm shaking the collar so it makes a little noise when the tags hit the metal chain. And he really ground down and cut his body in front of me. And I still could not figure out what it was. There was nothing there. I didn't have any sense of anything. And the streets were pretty quiet at that particular hour. All of a sudden, a man yells from kitty corner across the street, "Hey you!" Sorry, I know that was loud, but that's how it was to me. "Hey you!" "Yeah." I go like this. He goes, "Yeah, you, the man with the dog. Stop! Wait right there. Stop." So I need to accommodate this man because something's wrong. The dog's not moving. The guy's screaming at me, and I'm trying to figure out fast before he comes, and I'm embarrassed. What the heck is it? What's going on? I can't figure it out. The man comes over to me and says, "Your dog just saved your life." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Give me your hand." And he took my hand and he put it on a yellow piece of caution tape. And that's the only thing that was blocking me from a 10-foot hole in the ground, 20 feet long. A huge construction site. They had nothing else. No barrier, no Jersey barrier, no horses, nothing. All it was a yellow piece of tape, which even if I felt it, it wouldn't have stopped me. It would have been too late. And I was completely exasperated. My heart was racing. I got really nervous. More nervous after he told me what it was because I had no idea I was in harm's way. I bent down to the dog and I was petting him and loving him and telling him a good boy. And he was all psyched because he knew everything was good. And by the way, he wasn't jumping in the hole either. There is something called survival. And the man says, "Can I help you get around the construction?" I said, "That would be really nice. I really appreciate it, sir. You were great to help me." And he gave me his arm so I could guide with him, like you saw me come up with my friend Lenny. And he knew how to guide me. It's rare I run into somebody who can know how to walk with me. They're very awkward. They want to hold me. They want to push me forward. "Here, go this way." They're pushing me. This guy was perfect. He knew exactly how to guide me. He walked me all around the construction, got me squared up and situated where I was heading to continue. And he says, "Listen, do you want me to take you to the subway? It's only another 2 blocks. I said, "Sir, you have already done unbelievable work by paying attention and yelling to me and stopping me, because who knows what I would have done. I might have pushed the dog harder to go forward. I just didn't know. And I'm so grateful for your help. So thank you. I'm all set." And he says, "Do you need anything?" I said, "Actually, I just want to ask you a question." He said, "What's that?" I said, "Did anybody ever tell you that you sound exactly like Robert De Niro?" He takes his hand and goes like this, grabs my shoulder and says, "I can't even hide from a blind man." I know that's a perfect ending to the story, but I'm going to risk it and give you just the last piece of it to tell you the whole truth. First of all, when he grabbed me, his body and my body connected a little bit, and I noticed he was carrying something under his arm. And I said, "Oh," and I reached it, and he's like, "Yeah?" I said, No, that's Parisi's bread." I recognized the wrapping, because they wrapped it in that beautiful wax paper, and they put the string around the whole outside. And you don't even want to open it up when you get home. He says, "Yeah, I went to Parisi's." I said, "I got there and it was closed." He said, "Well, I went there a half hour ago." I said, "Well, Mr. De Niro, I just want to say thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, I'm amazed that you paid attention. You saw me from kitty corner across the street. The dog was really doing his job really well. He saved me, but without you, I wouldn't have maybe come through this so well." He said, "So I guess," I guess, "now that you know who I am, you want an autograph?" I said, "No, sir. I got something way better than that. I got a story about you saving my life. Thank you so much."